Thank you very much, Grant. Simply changing gear from our last presentation, and the English speakers in the audience will know and understand that pun. I'm here to talk about attention. I'm going to thank you for it, because what you're doing this afternoon is trading your time for attention. And this is something that interests me in my professional work here for Spikebrand. And Spikebrand is a boutique agency that focuses on graphic design, brand storytelling, and delivering digital messaging through programmatic creative optimization. So we do those three things, and they're all connected together with the single purpose of optimizing Thai consumers' attention. And we see this as both a challenge and an opportunity. And as our brief was delivered, what is changing and what is going to remain a constant in our post-COVID period, the scarcity for attention and the fight for attention is not going to go away. It is going to become harder fought by marketers and advertisers for Thai people to consume messaging. And this is largely, and now affectionately known as, the attention economy. And in any economy, we need to consider several aspects. First of all, this new economy of trading attention, and attention being a scarce resource, is driven by technology. And technology is both part of the change agent and also a reactive factor. So we're seeing a lot of changes within the way people are consuming and behaving socially. Their adoption of gaming and the intensification that is having in society to both bring people together and also isolate certain groups. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on how we are learning about this and how we're responding to it. But just three macro observations and insights, if I may. The first has been championed by the esteemed speakers before me, which is, first of all, it's tele-everything in Thailand. I mean, everybody is embracing telemedicine, working from home, e-commerce. This is the foundational change that has happened and is not going to slow down. This is here to stay. And as a consequence of that, what we have seen is an explosion of the app development market here. And there's an amazing industry that has flourished within the last year and a half in Thailand of software developers who are perfecting apps which are providing you all frictionless utilities, better versions of yourself, accessing life within an arm's reach of desire. And the app development economy is absolutely prolific here. Thirdly, on this macro journey that we've taken in trying to understand the attention economy, I'd like to draw your attention to something which is a little bit more nuanced, which is that digital interconnectedness carries both positives and negatives. The positives are that Thai society has become a lot more empathetic, aware of other sectors within society, and more able to respond. Social activism, being able to generate funds, crowdsource for worthy causes within Thai society is at an all-time high, which is a positive. On the flip side, there is a lot of misinformation. There's more hate speech. There are more platforms. There's more social media which are not providing guardrails to sectors of society, which is isolating people more. So we had this paradox where we are today. There is a gap that is emerging on how digital interconnectedness is providing both good and bad headwinds, shall we say. Now, from the standpoint of being a marketer and being interested in how to capitalize on attention, grow attention, because attention is like land. They're not making it anymore. Thais have the capacity to be awake about 15 hours a day, which is globally pretty normal, and online with a screen in their hands for nearly 8 hours of that. So what I want to do within my professional sphere is understand how to find where those emotional availability points are. How can I get messages to consumers when they're open to understanding? Now, the attention economy, just if I can just deviate for a second, attention does have a sense of needing to wait. And oh my gosh, Thai society has been asked to wait. And the relatively wealthy have the luxury of being able to be more patient, whereas the larger cohorts in society are struggling. They need to make ends meet. The topics that and the speakers a little earlier before lunch have been talking about inflation, employment challenges, being asked to wait for COVID boosters, being asked to wait for when tourists come back to Thailand, being asked to wait for a better understanding of what's real within my news feed. So in this Gallup poll that took place in just earlier in the year of 127,000 people globally, this is a regular poll. Thailand normally ranks within the top 5 countries globally of the most happy and content. This year we fell to the bottom, actually the bottom 3. So this idea that Thailand is the land of smiles is being challenged, I think in large part because of this wait time. People are being asked to wait and see. Now, it's creating somewhat of a gap because the affluent have time. And with that time, to a degree, they can be more distracted. The less affluent do think differently. They're more hyper-focused and more anxious. So in short, we've got this widening gap within the attention economy. But perhaps more interesting to us here in this room are the micro aspects of this. We worked with some survey providers to speak to Bangkokians about just how they're feeling at a more micro level in the way that they're interacting with channels. And first of all, we found that it all starts with the ping. So consumers' attention on a daily basis is really interrupted by each and every one of us initiating conversation or receiving conversation, which usually starts with a photo that goes in, that then encourages us to go down into a wormhole of whatever we're interested in. Now, in this particular respondent's case, and I say we interviewed about 100, this particular respondent was interested in the boy love genre of content, which took him into following one of the actors, looking them up on Wikipedia, finding out that they were particularly good at selling some desserts online, going onto TikTok, and then buying some of their kanonwan online. And this 7-step engagement across these platforms was very typical of the 100 people that we spoke to. And this is a very typical set of engagement. It takes about 22 minutes to ping or get pinged, and at the end, this particular guy sent his dad a funny video of somebody that looked like him shooting a firework at somebody who looked like his dad. So you can see, just there's a certain connectedness within this content, but it's also equally as random. And across the day, there are 7 of these engagements that take about 22 minutes of equally fascinating and random proportions. The other thing that we've learned is that TikTok is really at the center of so much of this transformation. A year and a half ago, a lot of young Thais were very much watching YouTube for 20 minutes at a time, which was a content parcel that satisfied their entertainment or educational needs. However, what we've found from our conversations is that this is now being perceived as a burden, a little bit too heavy. And we had a lot of respondents actually tell us that they're still watching YouTube. YouTube is a very fundamental channel, a lot of great content, but they're actually accelerating the speed at which they're listening to it. So they're double timing the content to make better use of their time. And I think that this is where the attention squeeze and attention tension is a very interesting factor and product of our post-COVID environment. And what TikTok fundamentally did with this very small move, but behind it, the tech is just phenomenal. The For You tab within TikTok is a really powerful engine. It doesn't just serve you content from content creators who you follow. It's a fire hose of content and entertainment that you like. And it has fundamentally changed the way new digital users are becoming involved with aspects of the internet, like search, for example, and browsing has been fundamentally changed by this particular tab. This particular tab, the analytics and the engine is so highly personalized that it has recognized that the younger generation look for ideas and are curious rather than focused on a destination, which is what the Google search bar has been established for. The Google search bar is fantastic at taking you immediately to an answer. But for the younger generation, TikTok has become a de facto Google search bar, and they enjoy the journey and the along that way. And it's just altered the state of the digital user. It now absolutely satisfies this urge for newness, but it's insatiable. So, you know, consumers now are so familiar and are becoming, their appetite for just moving through topics very quickly has never been greater than it is now. So, you know, this attention economy and the gap between older internet users and younger internet users has really been fueled by this For You tab on TikTok. And we went a little deeper to validate this. I mean, looking at the volume of Thai people who search through Google search with search terms like Kwan Kit and Jintanagan, you can see that around this period of second COVID spike, which arguably has been the most prolific, the most meaningful, there was a big spike, but an absolute inflection point around March, April, when TikTok hit over 35 million weekly active users, with an engagement rate of 16.7%, which I have to say, to put it in perspective, Instagram and Google micro-influencers on average have influencer engagement rates of about 5 to 7%. So incredibly sticky content, and a vast number of internet users now using TikTok for ideas and recommendations on what to buy, where to go, how to spend their money. And it's the same for Jintanagan as well. This is not lost on Google. Google know this, and Google are adapting. So we've spoken to Google here in Thailand. They've got, you know, a team of engineers working to completely revolutionize their search so as to recapture that type of volume. And in their study here, they looked at the eye responsiveness of Thai consumers to different forms of video content. And this is very emblematic of different types of video. So social video, the types of video that you would get within your social feed. You haven't asked for it, but it's a friend has provided it, will give you the lowest attention, or will deliver the lowest attention value. Premium video content, which is really sports, live events, has amongst the highest attention rates for time. But what Google, you know, shared with us is that very key learning that time is not equal when it comes to attention. And what we've also learned is that over the past year, social media has contributed to heightened anxiety within Thailand. There are various reasons for this. I think that one of the most vivid is that in July 2022, this stat came out, which absolutely blew me away, which is out of these 51 countries, Thailand ranked third as the proportion of people who on a daily basis get their news about Thailand and the rest of the world from Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. For most other countries on this side of the chart, consumers are getting news from premium publishers that have a stricter adherence to editorial controls. And one of the reasons that social media can be fun and both dangerous is because the guardrails are not there. And for news, this is a slightly worrying and concerning data point. And I think one that contributes to some of that anxiety that we are seeing within the attention economy. So we have this attention tension which is growing in 2022 and will carry forward in 2023. And that's to be recognized and optimized. So how do we optimize it? How do we get ahead of it? How within, you know, professional marketing organizations do we win that challenge? I'd like to propose three tools. First of all, to recognize that social is extremely important, but to be distinctively social is most important. And what we're seeing increasingly here in Thailand, and my esteemed colleague and friend, Kun Ferdinand, will be talking about this momentarily, is just how esports and gaming has taken and become a hybrid of everything social. It is a champion of an expertise. It is competitive. It takes place in venues. It takes place on live streaming. It is ultimately shareable. And, you know, this is what I think the new social economy and social attention economy needs to pay greater attention to. And platforms like Twitch, which, I mean, there are many more of them, are taking up an increasing amount of time and attention of younger Thais who are watching a lot less YouTube and being a lot less social on traditional social networks like Facebook, and, you know, are, I think, are becoming a massive force within this area. So the adjacent to that is to be distinctively personal, and to create and craft communications that speak to groups as if they were one people, and to use artificial intelligence, to use programmatic as a way of serving ads and communications to groups in a very agile way where people are being spoken to individually, or certainly extract that sense. And this is extremely easy to do in 2022 with the technology that exists. Many canvases exist within the digital space where we can create and execute rapid fire communications that drive consumers through full funnel selling strategies. And the second, I would say, way of breaking through in 2023 is to capitalize on escapism. And escapism comes in many forms. In our research, what we found was that for many times in 2022, the horror genre actually was really cutting through as a way of relaxing and escaping their concerns and anxieties. This particular YouTube channel, Ghost Radio, is just one of many. I mean, this channel's got 2.7 million subscribers here in Thailand, in Thai, and it just exemplifies how escapism is actually providing a relaxed environment and a good ecosystem for attention. And also what we're seeing is a healthy explosion of podcasting. Spotify is probably the lead platform at the moment, but there are again many others who are doing a great job to provide an authentic podium for sincere content creators. And this authenticity is vital and often missing in social media. And now the long tail of podcasting that's taking place here, it used to be politics, it used to be just sort of self-help, Buddhism, but now it's absolutely, every single interest is catered for, and within what we call the theatre of the mind. And in advertising, having a front seat in the theatre of the mind is absolutely vital in gaining attention. So not everything has to be visual, but escapism can be delivered through both these forms of marketing communication. And finally, adding value. Adding value in the form of being a helping hand, being a pat on the back to content creators, incentivizing people to grow their profiles. Because remember, all these platforms are in the business of making everybody a content creator and a content hero. And what we've just seen actually this week was Instagram roll out a new iteration version of their platform, which is doing precisely that and doing a very good job of recognizing many of these fundamental attention-grabbing techniques. Recognizing that we want you on our platform. We want you to be delivering healthy, provocative, entertaining content. We will give you an audience. Your audience will reward you. The more people engage with you, the more you'll be paid, recognized. And also we'll make our platform a lot more shoppable, with more discovery. And again, just really, I think, being very acutely aware of how to break through our attention economy that we face here in Thailand in 2023. So by adopting those three techniques, I'm supremely optimistic that everybody in this room who has a hand in attempting to influence or persuade Thai consumers will find it a lot easier, and hopefully we'll have a profitable and happy, healthy 2023. Thank you.
questions? Any questions? There we go. Shout it out. It's probably easier until we get a mic.
Hi, I'm David. Very interesting presentation. I just wanted to ask, do you see some contradiction between, say, the TikTok phenomenon where there's a very, or should we say short content is better, and at the same time there's a trend towards podcasts which seem to require so much attention. And I don't know if it's just a trend or podcasters can remedy this, or this could even be an opportunity, an idea for other people who want to create other platforms. I think that in podcasts, it seems to me that these podcasters like to draw it out. So please tell us something about yourself. It's like, gee, how many times do we have to hear them say something to you? And of course, these guest speakers want to say so much things about themselves. It really makes it so long and makes it so hard to listen to these long podcasts. And in contradiction to the TikTok phenomenon where they want to listen to everything in 1 minute. So I don't know, any comment or on that?
Well, first of all, a brilliant observation, and the key observation here is that there are as many rules that we can being set as exceptions to those rules. And what I would say is that what we're seeing is, long form content is not dead by a long chalk, and every single platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, this year have rolled out their shorts. And the short form content often provides a pathway into the longer form content. I take your point on board regarding podcasting here. I think podcasting is in its relative infancy. And I think it's going to take a little while, a little bit like, as I remember, like sort of stand-up comedy in Thailand. Stand-up comedy in overseas and other markets is something that's a staple within the entertainment sphere. In Thailand, it's taken a lot longer for stand-up comics to find their voice and find an audience that understands. Same with sitcoms. So I think that podcasting is still relatively niche, but if you look at the potential, so I mean, Joe Rogan, for example, globally has absolutely rocked the podcasting product and is notable for his controversy. In a Thai context, I think it's a little harder to be controversial, and I think that podcasting has this capability of being this gorgeous theatre of the mind. And I find it encouraging. I think it's important to have a more diverse entertainment sphere, and podcasting is moving in the right trajectory. It does need characters, it needs good scripting, and it needs good guests. It will find its way. I'm optimistic. Did I answer all your questions? Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, we've got another one here.
Yes, madam. Do I think it's too late to? No, I started TikTok as a TikToker or working for TikTok, which are basically the same.
Because for me, I feel like, okay, everyone started earlier, like 2 years ago, when the COVID-19 started. And right now, I feel like it's a little bit too late because so many young people, they started earlier,
You mean to be a TikTok influencer?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think the hourglass is set on that. Everything is evolving. I mean, if we look back, a short year and a half ago, if TikTok was being discussed within this audience, all we would be talking about is TikTok dance, which was the entry-level content play. But it's become a lot more diversified now in terms of encouraging people to be a part of the ecosystem.
Lucky to have Ferdy, who's the CEO of Please raise your hands if you're a gamer. There's only one, I don't believe it. I think Ferdy's got some numbers there. There's a lot of Thais who are into gaming, and an incredible amount of spend that goes into gaming. So while Ferdy's just setting up there, we'll welcome you to the stage. Thank you very much.